Guys, it's Jake here from Sleeping Savannah. Today doing a video on how to install the Ghost Incorporated complete spring kit and Ghost connector. In addition to that, we're also going to be changing out the slider release here, or at least I'll be showing you how to do that. So for this tutorial, really the only thing you're going to need is a punch or a Glock tool. I have this pretty affordable 1/8 punch I got at Harbor Freight or any supply store, and then obviously the complete spring kit. We're doing this on the Glock 19 Gen 5, so we're doing it on a Gen 5 platform, which means you need to order separately. It'll be a little more expensive, the Gen 5 return spring. So this spring kit from the local gun shop, I think, plus the Ghost connector here, I kind of combined the pieces into one. Cost me like 30 bucks, but I think on the website in total with the additional spring, which I had to order from the website, was going to be about 40. So this plus the Ghost connector plus the Gen 5 recoil spring, which you have to order separately, which is right here, will set you back about 40 bucks. And then I also ordered the extended slide release. Now all the parts I'm showing you today are already installed on the weapon. I wanted to install it myself before doing this video, but you can see the extended slide release there. I'm going to take apart and go through the motions and kind of explain to you what each of these do. So without further ado, let's get into it. So first things first, take it apart. I did a sin on this channel or on YouTube. I didn't show you it was clear weapon. You know, obviously we're gonna sort of take it apart, pull the trigger, knock it out of battery a little bit. So pull the gun just slightly out of battery and then pull these two down. So with your nails, I usually have to pull it to my chest and here, put the trigger to the rear, pull a bit. So as you can see, this is slightly moved a bit. Usually from there I just pull the trigger and it slides right off. So for this, we're not really going to need this, but if you're here, you're very new to Glocks, even further, take it apart. This is the recoil spring, and then barrel. So for now, we're going to put that aside. So first thing we'll do is we will replace the trigger springs. Now obviously my Glock is filthy. I've replaced these springs, not even shot it, my Glock is still filthy. So my hands are gonna get all messed up. I wore gloves the first time, but honestly today I really could care less. So first thing we gotta do, remove these two pins right here. So this is where the punch comes in handy. And sometimes if this pin is giving you issues, same with the reinstallation, it connects the slide release, the trigger, and this right here, this slide piece. So pushing down on it, on this slide piece, like right here, can help you kind of line the holes up. See, boom. And that was with me putting pressure down there, pull it the rest of the way. Now this one, a little bit difficult because I don't have a Glock tool, and the 1/8 punch isn't amazing for this. So what I'm gonna do, we'll use tweezers. So like little pliers, stick it in here like that, pull the other pin out like this. And this is the same pin you use when you're putting on a back strap. If you want to put a back strap on your Glock, pliers out of the way. All right, from here, it's a little tricky, but first thing I go for is this. Maybe I push the trigger a bit because it all kind of sits on each other to loosen up this piece right here. Boom. There's that. The piece we were pressing on earlier. And that has two holes on the outside that line up with your slide release. and then your trigger, which just scoops up like that. Boom. Glock is empty and filthy. I don't want to hear it. Alright, so to take the trigger apart, you just, and this is where I'm trying it without the Apex trigger. I know that was one of like the cornerstone videos of this channel, but I'm going back to stock. So to get it in and out, you just pull it out and lift up like that. Alright, put this aside. So for the Ghost connector reassembly, as you can see, I have the Ghost Ink one in right now. It sits right here. Basically what you're gonna do, if this is your new Ghost connector, for me it's the old one. So you're gonna line it up here in this little slot, right there. Trying to get it so it'll focus in on it, and you're gonna push in with the other Ghost connector. So as you can see right now, it's kind of sitting in there, and then the picture push. But basically I snatched it in, compressed my forearms like that, and just press down. As you can see, it loosens up the one you want to replace, which for me, I don't want to replace it. You pull this one out, pull this piece off, grab the new one, line it up here, slide it in. Pretty easy. Alright, so now for this, the part you didn't order, or that came separately from the spring kit, just for you Gen 5 people out there, the recoil spring. This is the return spring that controlled, basically when you pull the trigger, it adds more weight to it returning to its original position. Alright, so here's that slot I was talking about earlier with the Ghost connectors, where I was doing all that stuff. Here is this little lever that we want to push out. We are trying to extract this piece right there. So what we're doing is we're taking our punch, and we are trying to give you guys a good view of this while I do it, pushing kind of on the back of this silver piece right here. Push this front piece out. You can see it. It's shy, it's out. Shy, out. And then from there, I'm resting the punch right now on my belly. Take this piece while still applying pressure and kick it back here. So there's still pressure with the punch. You can use your table, or I was bracing it on my stomach. Boom. From there, put this down, and this piece falls right out, right here. And here's where that recoil spring lives, or that return spring lives. So from there, to uninstall it, as you can see here, all you do is twist this top metal piece to be in line, be parallel with that little rivet right there. Not rivet, I don't know what it's called, but this little line. And then you pull the spring off. So you have this piece, and this piece. And then you obviously take the spring you don't want, the stock spring, put in the spring you want. From there, reverse the order of everything we just did. So put that spring back on, line up this piece right here with this one, twist. So we lined it up, as you can see. We pushed to get it through, and then we twisted it. Put it back in, drop it in here, and do the reverse steps of what we did. So press it in, there we go, and push it down. Boom. So I just pressed it in here, I lined it up with this slot, this first opening right here, pressed in with my middle finger, took my left index finger, slid it back. Boom, back together. Now we're looking at putting the trigger back in. Super simple, super easy. You just take this, put it in here like that, and I'm fumbling around with it because I'm watching myself on camera. See if I focus on it, like that, boom. So to put this back in, usually what I do, trigger first, put that, in there. This fits super snug, so just kind of pressed it down like that. Then what I do, and obviously if you buy a new slide release, this is when you add it. This is when they go in. Boom. Slide release right there. And then this piece, which I should know the name, but I don't, so oh well. Boom. Fits in there pretty easy. Now, tricky part is fitting this pin back in right here. If it'll focus. Boom. So you can see, it's kind of the same way with pulling it out. You're lining up multiple different pieces in the gun. You're lining up the slide release, so you kind of want to fidget with that a bit. I'm fidgeting here with it with my thumbs, the trigger, and this. This has got to pass through multiple pieces. Sometimes I use the desk to help, and then I look, see what's bothering it. What I did just there to get it is I pushed the trigger forward. Trigger was too far back. It was kind of sitting back like this. I pushed it forward, and boom, back in. This rear piece right here, super easy, put back in. And then basically, you're just looking to make sure, so you see this one right here isn't flush. It's kind of sticking out on this side a bit. Usually just do that with your nail, kind of get them pretty even. Same with this one right here. Just like that. All right, so final thing we're gonna replace, and this one's a pain in the ass to replace, is the firing pin. So basically what we gotta do is remove the base plate. So stick your punch right here. Stick your punch right there. Or as I was, push towards the barrel, my bad. Like here. And then basically you're trying to push away and grab this back plate, and boom. Back plate is removed. Pull this out, and there lies your recoil spring. So once you pulled this piece out, like this, basically what you're looking for, gotta get a zoom in again, are these two pieces right here. They look like one, but they're really two. Right there. You can see a little line in between them right there. So what you're trying to do is you grab them with your one finger and pull the spring off. You can get them off like that. They fall right off. Here's what they look like. And then here is the spring on the firing pin. So obviously, and then here it is entirely disassembled. Obviously you take the spring you don't want. So something we need to talk about. I chose the 4-pound firing spring for target competition. It comes with a 4-pound and a 6-pound. I chose the 4 because I wanted a lighter trigger pull that like obviously doesn't smash the ammunition as hard and disturb a lot of the parts in the gun. I haven't tested this yet with ammo. It says it's at risk I would say more in like larger calibers like 40 and 45 than it would be in 9mm for light strikes, but we will see. If not, they come with a 6-pound one, and that's what I'll be using. The spring kit comes with 2. So when it comes to reassembly, you just slide this piece back on here, put the spring on. This is kind of tricky. You have to fight the gun a bit, hold it like that, hold it like this, slide these 2 pieces, back on, boom. Just like that, and I'm sorry if you didn't catch that. All right, the final spring we're gonna replace is the power plunger. So you're gonna compress this piece right here, and I'm gonna and that should be enough. Whoops. Slide this bit out here. It's kind of tough. You kind of have to fight with it, especially because I'm doing it left-handed and on camera. There we go. Good Lord. And you're basically trying to extract this baby little spring right here. This is the spring we're trying to replace. It sits in this piece here that we were sitting on the plunger with. So you basically grab your new one, put it in like that. What you do, come down to this bad boy, put it in, and basically just line everything back up again. So here's the piece I was trying to get out earlier. Right there. As you can see, you just push it right back in like there. So you hold this piece in that I just showed you, push it down like that. I'm sorry I didn't catch that on camera. Push this piece back in. Drop in your firing pin. And then when you're sliding this back up, oh, this is a weird angle. Basically what you do is you push this down like that. So we have the firing pin right there compressed. I push this spring down, and then hopefully it doesn't shoot up in our face. Boom. All right. Now we're finally coming to the end of this long video. Put the barrel back in. Put the recoil spring back in. Like that. Take this. Line it up with these. Rivets right here. Rack it. And then functions check. So rack. It should come forward again. Pull the trigger. Rack. And these upgrades make the trigger feel amazing. I'll kind of talk about them on the range, like during my next range vlog or whatever, but honestly, they make the weight of the trigger feel phenomenal. And I'm honestly very happy to have a trigger that matches the rest of the gun back in the gun. And this slide release, we'll kind of do some videos talking about it practically. But thank you guys for watching. I hope this was helpful. I was really trying to make this video to help. Turns out it was longer than I expected, but I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you.